Gavin Newsom is absolutely scrambling right now. He is deploying state police across California because Trump is threatening to send in federal troops, as he's already considering to do in Chicago and now in places like LA and San Francisco. And he's also talking about how there won't be an election in 2028, which I find that more than ironic. And there's also some more unearthed footage that has come out where people are calling him a literal self-serving shape shifter. So this is definitely a lot, and I want us to talk about it. So if you think conversations like this matter, or if you think they're interesting, please consider liking and subscribing. Now, let's jump right in. So first up, California Governor Gavin Newsom held a press conference with law enforcement right behind him, saying that he is surging officers statewide. Why? Because President Trump has already said that he is ready to move in the National Guard to these different states if they don't get their act together. So what does Gavin Newsom do? Well, he gets his act together. This is truly unbelievable. Watch this.
Effort that will now take shape on border division down in San Diego. We're going to advance this effort down in LA to other parts of the Central Valley, not just limited to Bakersfield, in partnership with Mayor Go there in San Bernardino. And we're going to expand this operation in a collaborative that continues to include the cities and counties, our partners in the sheriff's office and local law enforcement agencies. We continue as well to work with the federal partners. I'll remind you, in San Francisco, working with the Biden administration.
So hold up. President Trump says law and order, and boom, Democrat governors are suddenly caring about crime. Are you kidding me? Has it literally always been this easy? President Trump is like the teacher in school who says, hey, if you don't put that phone away, or if you don't get your act together, I'm going to go ahead and call your mom, or I'm going to go and send you to the principal's office. And that person just suddenly stops acting crazy. Right? They get their act together. So on one hand, you see Gavin Newsom conceding to President Trump, which is hilarious. But on the other hand, you see Gavin Newsom begin to actually try to govern and save his state, which is good. All right, although one could argue that he is reacting instead of creating, which is bad, but still, things are getting really interesting. But get a load of what he said yesterday. This went mega viral. And if you ask me, Gavin Newsom's brain is glitching in real time.
Wake up. You will lose your country. Again, it's not about Democrats. It's about all of us.
So you're absolutely convinced he's...
I'm absolutely
2028.
You've seen it. He's tried to steal the last election. He's trying to rig it in plain sight.
He says, point blank, I am absolutely convinced, we've seen it before, that there won't be an election in 2028. And, you know, this is hard for me to hear coming from Gavin Newsom, because if you really believed that there wasn't going to be another election, then why the heck are you running? Because Gavin Newsom is 100% running a shadow campaign. Also, quick sidebar. Does anyone else think that there's a deep resemblance between Gavin Newsom and Christian Bale from American Psycho? Or is it just me? But no, seriously, Gavin Newsom is actually running a shadow presidential campaign. That's why he's on X mimicking Trump. That's also why he's trying to get his state in order right now, so he doesn't look completely terrible in 2028. So he actually has some leg and some bone to stand on. So forgive me for not believing Gavin Newsom whenever he says that, or whenever he predicts that democracy itself is going to collapse over the next 3 years. I'm just not buying it. And I don't think he is buying it either, because look at what other people are buying here on Kalshi. This is a betting platform, and this betting market is for a Democratic nominee in 2028. And you can see Gavin Newsom is surging right now. All right. He is at 29%. He is beating out AOC at 10, and he is beating out Pete Buttigieg at 9. So very, very interesting stuff. And I also saw Tim Dillon reacting to this. Also, just for clarity, betting markets did predict the winner in 2024. So take that for what you will. But this is Tim Dillon, comedian. He actually roasted Gavin Newsom today. He said, wow, looks like Gavin Weinmom Newsom will be running in 2028, even though his policies in this failing state of California led to my home burning down. My goodness, this is ridiculous. But this is getting very, very real. But if you do really want to see what Gavin Newsom is actually about, look no further than the words of Gavin Newsom himself over the span of 5 years. The clarity that you see in this clip is genuinely appalling, because I do think that we should be voting based on policies, but I also think we should be voting based on character. We should vote based on value. We should vote based on someone's ability to lead. And I think you see a lot of this here in these two separate clips. Check this out.
California is prepared to call this what this is, which is a theater of the absurd. California is prepared to continue to remind the American people this is a manufactured crisis. Border crossings up to 2017 were at the lowest level since 1971. The reality is, at ports of entry, most of these drugs are seized.
You pulled the National Guard, the California National Guard troops have been deployed to their mission down at the border. Why'd you do that?
Because it was the right thing to do, because we don't want to participate in this show any longer. And the fact is, the President of the United States announced that he wanted to put 3,750 additional military personnel on the border. Rather makes our 360 National Guard troops look pretty trivial and insignificant. Look, we just don't want to play. We don't want to be part of this. We don't want to be part of this theater. We don't want to be part of this political, misdirection. California is better than that.
We're back down here at the border, Tijuana, right behind me, San Diego sector. This is the San Ysidro port of entry. We're just down here with the National Guard, meeting with customs agents as well as Border Patrol, talking about our partnerships. 390 National Guardsmen and women that have been working, particularly as it relates to fentanyl here in the state of California. Look at the bottom line. At the end of the day, they need more resources. Everybody needs more resources. And the Republican Party has been consistently standing in the way of providing the resources, the support for the men and women working hard, not only here at the border, but out throughout the state of California and this country to address the issues related to the border.
California.
So in 2019, he denied additional resources. And in 2024, he's begging for more additional resources. And now you see him again in 2025 attempting to deny federal resources. So Gavin Newsom says that this is theater, but isn't the real theater whenever you expose who he is by playing these clips side by side? And it's no wonder why Mays, the person who shared this video, calls him a self-serving shapeshifter. And that is Gavin Newsom. Really, really interesting stuff. So while Gavin Newsom is deploying state police to major cities, Steve Hilton, who is actually running to be California's next governor, had this to say about him. He said, Gavin Newsom's California, 50th for opportunity, 50th for quality of life, 50th for raising a family, 50th for running a business. Democrat one-party rule has been a complete disaster. Join our movement for change. You know, I love this because Steve's reminding everyone why Gavin Newsom is so dangerous and why his policies are so lethal. Because what's affected California could be affecting the rest of the country. And I know there's people all across the country who watch these videos and all across the world who consume this content. But really, the choice is simple. Will we let the worst of California become the story that we share to the rest of the country, become the story that we share as a blueprint for the rest of the world? Or will we demand leaders who are actually worth following? Will we demand leaders who are actually worth fighting for? That's my question. And I'd love to know what you think about this in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this episode, what you agree with, what you disagree with. And if you made it this far, please consider liking, subscribing, and turn on that notification bell because it really does make a difference. And have a great rest of your day. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.